Welcome to the Shorten Anime channel. Today we'll dive into the latest episode of The Great Ruler. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to support the channel. The Great Ruler Season 2 Episode 3. The black shield and the stone stove emitted a faint light as they floated above Mu Chen's palm. As they flashed, a strange spiritual energy fluctuation spread out. Mu Chen stared curiously at the two spiritual artifacts. As the creation of spiritual artifacts was rather complex, only spiritual blacksmiths had the ability to create them. Moreover, there were barely any spiritual blacksmiths within the entire northern spiritual realm. Based on this, one can see how tiny the northern spiritual realm is compared to the vast and endless Great Thousand World. Mu Chen's hand gripped the black shield of light and inserted spiritual energy into it. A powerful light started to emit from it, and the palm-sized artifact instantly expanded into a protective shield in front of Mu Chen's body. On the surface of the black shield, there were many mysterious engravings along with black lights. It gave off a vaguely dense and powerful feeling. Previously, Yang Gong had used this black shield to block Mu Chen's triple limitless death seal attack. Based on Mu Chen's calculations, this black shield could probably withstand a powerful attack from a spirit stage middle phase powerhouse. But this fact made him secretly sigh. A spiritual artifact truly brought too many benefits to a battle. Mu Chen played around with the black shield before he handed it over to Sun. He smiled. "This is your reward." Both the black shield and stone stove were protective spiritual artifacts. Since Mu Chen was planning on keeping the stone stove, he handed the black shield over to Sun. After all, she was a spiritual array master who lacked battle experience. With the support of the black shield, she would be a lot safer than before. Sun extended her petite hands and fiddled with the black shield as she chuckled. "Thank you, Brother Mu Chen." The black shield and stone stove are probably low-rank spiritual artifacts. At the side, Ye Qingling smiled when she noticed this scene. However, it truly provides many benefits to Sun. If it weren't for these protective spiritual artifacts, they would have probably been killed by Sun directly. We originally had higher-ranked spiritual artifacts as well. However, they were handed back to our family when we entered the Northern Heavens world. They said that we must rely on ourselves for our cultivation within the Northern Heavens Spiritual Academy. If we were to use the spiritual artifact's power to obtain a higher position, we would truly be inferior to others. Hearing Ye Qingling say these words, Mu Chen let out a bitter smile. This was truly the difference between them. In the Northern Spiritual Realm, he had almost never seen any spiritual blacksmiths. However, Ye Qingling and the others were accustomed to them. After this, Mu Chen put away the stone stove casually. Although a spiritual artifact brought many benefits, he had always believed that the most important thing was for one to rely on their own strength. This was something that everybody could trust. "What are you planning to do next?" Ye Qingling smiled as she stared at Mu Chen. "Head to the Northern Heavens Hall. What else could I do?" Mu Chen smiled. He believed that everybody's goal was the same. This is because if they were to reach that place, they would be able to enter the Northern Heavens Spiritual Academy. "What about you?" "Naturally, the same as you." Ye Qingling smiled. "However, I would like to find a suitable spiritual beast soul essence to ingest on our way there. You have only recently advanced into the spirit stage, so you probably haven't ingested a spiritual beast soul essence yet, right?" Mu Chen sighed helplessly as he nodded. Although he had an extremely rare spiritual beast soul essence within his body, he did not dare to ingest it. Actually, many students that advance to the spirit stage have not ingested a spiritual beast soul essence yet. This is because they were picky and set their sights quite high. They do not wish to find and ingest a random spiritual beast essence. Although it is possible to change the spiritual beast soul essence later, it is indeed a troublesome matter. As far as I know, there are many powerful spiritual beasts within the Northern Heavens world. In fact, there are a few that have reached the heaven ranks and had a pretty decent position within the Myriad Beast Records Earth ranking. Although these spiritual beasts are difficult to deal with, they would always create a commotion once they were found. Many individuals would flock to them. Actually, this is an opportunity that the Northern Heavens Spiritual Academy has granted to us. It is a chance that would allow us to become a lot more powerful within the Northern Heavens world. This way, we would truly qualify to be students of the Northern Heavens Spiritual Academy. Ye Qingling blinked her eyes as she stared at Mu Chen and said, "If you have no other plans, why don't you follow us? If we were to find a couple of powerful spiritual beast soul essence, I would give you the first choice. Heaven rank spiritual beasts." A hint of surprise flashed through Mu Chen's eyes. It seemed that he had underestimated the Northern Heavens world. How could such a place be ordinary if it was used by the Northern Heavens Spiritual Academy as their examination grounds? Although heaven-ranked spiritual beasts were extremely powerful, and it was impossible for them to compete with the beasts with their present strength, there were thousands of students inside the Northern Heavens world. These individuals were not weak either. Together, it would be possible for them to suppress a heaven-ranked spiritual beast. Naturally, there was a premise that the spiritual beasts weren't as terrifying as the Nine Netherbird. However, the possibility was quite small. Based on Mu Chen's calculations, the heaven-ranked spiritual beast within the Northern Heavens world would not surpass the ranks of the top 50 spiritual beasts in the Myriad Beast Records Earth ranking. After all, a spiritual beast with a rank above the top 50 was too powerful for students like them. I'm quite interested in this as well. A hint of interest flashed through Mu Chen's eyes. Currently, he had advanced to the spirit stage, and it was indeed true that he required a spiritual beast soul essence. Otherwise, he would definitely be at a disadvantage once he fought against enemies that had ingested a spiritual beast soul essence. Furthermore, the Northern Heavens world was quite vast and boundless. It was evident that it would be difficult for him to obtain information and find traces of heaven-rank spiritual beasts. Therefore, it would truly help him out if he were together with Ye Qingling and the others. Then let's reunite with the others and head to the interior of the Northern Heavens world. She was quite happy to hear that Mu Chen would be going with them. After all, Mu Chen was extremely powerful, and his presence would be a significant boost in strength for the Ye clan. Mu Chen smiled and nodded. Then the group packed their belongings before they headed quickly out of this mountain. Finally, they converged with the Ye clan members, who were waiting for them at the foot of the mountain. As the groups reunited with each other, a passionate commotion broke out. Wang Sheng and the others were talking excitedly about the battle that happened earlier within the mountains. Once the surrounding Ye clan members heard that Mu Chen was able to completely subdue two spirit stage initial phase powerhouses by himself, they immediately cried out in shock. Their gazes held a hint of passion and worship as they looked at Mu Chen. In their eyes, a person who had advanced to the spirit stage was truly outstanding. Mu Chen, having easily bested not one but two such individuals, was simply glorious. With such a powerful person protecting their tiny Ye clan, the threats that they suffered would decline greatly. In the next few days, Mu Chen followed the Ye clan as they headed to the interior of the Northern Heavens world. Although there were numerous troubles along the way, it did not stop them at all during their trip. Furthermore, Mu Chen discovered that there were more students and forces as they gradually entered the interior of the Northern Heavens world. In addition, the majority of these individuals had a powerful aura. After all, without a bit of ability, it was impossible for them to protect their symbols from being robbed along the way. Although they met many powerful forces and students as they entered the interior of the Northern Heavens world, the Ye clan did not attract a lot of hatred as they never took the initiative of robbing other people's symbols. Thus, they were quite peaceful compared to the forces that fought against each other daily. However, this peace did not last forever. This is because of the unique information that was gradually spreading throughout this vast region. This information did not create a commotion with those people who had not participated in the spiritual road, but to the ones that participated in the spiritual road, it was somewhat shocking. The message conveyed was extremely short, yet it created a huge commotion in a few people's hearts. The spiritual road's blood calamity, Mu Chen, is currently present at the Northern Heavens world. Blood calamity, Mu Chen. Many were unfamiliar with this name. However, there were also many people who jumped upon hearing this name. Nobody who came from the spiritual road would ever forget the terrifying blood calamity that was caused within the spiritual road. And the creator of the blood calamity was a boy named Mu Chen, a person who should have been assessed as a king class and would have stood at the peak of the spiritual road. This information spread quickly. A few individuals would grit their teeth in hatred once they obtained this news. A few would exclaim in curiosity, saying they would like to meet the boy who caused that shocking event within the spiritual road. Some would hate, some would fear, and some would be surprised. Various emotions were evoked as the message was spread throughout the Northern Heavens world. Before long, Mu Chen's name had become a frequently discussed topic within the vast region. This made many people who had not participated in the spiritual road realize that a terrifying individual had descended into the Northern Heavens world. This information had attracted a bit of trouble for Mu Chen as well. However, he was still able to control the trouble that he had attracted, for now. However, he understood that as the information spread further, the amount of trouble he would face would increase significantly. After all, he had a few opponents that were quite powerful. Therefore, he must increase his own strength as soon as possible. In a certain location within the northern heavens world. Boom! The sound of an explosion rang out within a massive mountain. Then, an enormous spiritual beast, covered with spikes, came crashing down to the ground. Fresh blood oozed out and turned the ground red. It was a magical thorn beast, whose strength was comparable to a spirit stage middle phase powerhouse. If a spirit stage initial phase powerhouse were to meet it, their only option would be to quickly flee from this high-ranked spiritual beast. But at this moment, it had completely lost its life. A figure landed gently on the massive body of the magical thorn beast and extended its hand to extract the spiritual beast's soul essence. After glancing it for a bit, the figure placed it away. "Yo, not bad. You dealt with this beast quite quickly." Sounds of laughter rang out from nearby. At this moment, a handsome boy emerged and whistled at the figure on top of the magical thorn beast's body. The figure that killed the magical thorn beast lifted its head and revealed a handsome face. On his forehead, a purple golden symbol was revealed. It was a symbol that had reached rank 7. This figure had a calm expression, as if it was relatively easy for him to kill a magical thorn beast. "It's that expression again." The handsome boy curled his lips as if he was bored. Then he stretched his waist for a moment as he smiled. "However, I believe you'll be interested in what I'm about to say. Blood Calamity Mu Chen has appeared." Just as the handsome boy had expected, the figure who was on top of the magical thorn beast froze for a moment. Afterwards, the figure quickly appeared in front of the handsome boy, and his dull eyes instantly sharpened. "Mu Chen? Where?" "It should be in this area. I've already sent a few men over to investigate. We will soon have his location. I'll inform you as soon as we get it." The handsome boy smiled. "Great!" A smile finally emerged on the figure's face. "I'd say, Chu-Chi, Mu Chen isn't a man to be trifled with. Why are you searching for him? It doesn't seem like you have had much interaction with him before, right? And it's not like you have a grudge against him from the spiritual road either," the handsome boy said helplessly. Known to him, Mu Chen was a terrifying existence that a person like Jishuan would fear. "I hold no grudges against him." The handsome boy named Chu-Chi let out a faint smile. He stared at the frowning boy. Yet a hint of passion emerged from within the depths of his eyes. "I like Luo Li. I selected the Northern Heavens Spiritual Academy because I've heard that she also selected it." The handsome boy's eyes widened for a moment. Then he gave a thumbs up to Chu-Chi. "Amazing. You truly set your sights quite high. However, it's unfortunate for you, as you probably don't stand a chance. She's truly amazing. It's impossible for you to conquer her. She has someone that she likes." Chu-Chi clenched his hands tightly as he spoke. The handsome boy was stunned. Then he instantly understood and asked, "Are you talking about Mu Chen?" Chu-Chi slowly nodded his head and he began walking down the mountain. The ground underneath him shook slightly as he walked. At the same time, a hint of unacceptance spread out, accompanied by his voice. "Therefore, I'm going to personally meet him. I will show him just who is the one that is more suitable for her." Surrounded by lofty peaks that shot up into the sky, this was a place where numerous mountains had intersected with one another. Thus, the many paths in this range would all intersect and come together at this location. Due to the paths converging, this region was quite a festive and popular location. Numerous camps were spread out among an exceptionally vast ground. Furthermore, there were many figures flocking about, demonstrating in this fashion how popular this location was. Mu Chen stood on a mountain slope as he watched the scenes of people come and go. A hint of surprise flashed through his eyes. There were thousands of people in the area in front of him. The number of people here was even many times greater than the amount that had been on the escort platform. This place is a temporary gathering point. From this location, it is possible to advance to the depths of the Northern Heavens world. Therefore, many people in this region choose to pass through this place. Next to Mu Chen, Ye Jingling explained with a smile. In addition, this area also has an exchange market. Many people come here to sell the items that they have. Various spiritual arts, spiritual beasts, soul essences, and even spiritual artifacts can appear here. Naturally, if you would like to obtain the item, you must hand over a price that is satisfactory for them. Mu Chen nodded. It was truly what he had expected. As long as humans were around, a place like this would automatically form, After all, everybody wants to obtain the items that they need. Do we need spirit coins here? Mu Chen asked. Spirit coins were the common currency used in the Great Thousand World. The coins contained spiritual aura could also be directly absorbed. Thus, it was a hard currency within the entire Great Thousand Worlds. Spirit coins would barely be considered suitable. However, they aren't the thing that the people here need the most. Ye Xingling's slender finger pointed at the dark golden symbol on Mu Chen's forehead and spoke. This is the hard currency within the Northern Heavens world. If you want to exchange for anything, you must hand over a satisfactory amount of spiritual aura from your symbol. Mu Chen felt quite strange. He had never expected that the symbol would have such an effect at this location. However, once he thought about it, spirit coins were truly useless to the people here. As for the spiritual aura within their symbols, it could help the sellers to quickly increase their symbols' ranks and allow them to escape the tragic fate of being eliminated. Moreover, this is also a location where we could gather various types of information. We could inquire about any traces of heaven-ranked spiritual beasts. Shall we go? Ye Qingling smiled at Mu Chen. Okay. Mu Chen was quite interested in this place and immediately nodded his head. Seeing this, Ye Qingling quickly issued orders for the Ye clan set up camp at this location. Then she brought a handful of men, including a curious sonner, Mu Chen and Mo Ling, down the mountain slope as they headed towards the bustling trading area. As they approached the trading ground, passionate voices rang out. The bustling sounds made Mu Chen feel like he was back in the Great Thousand Worlds. At this location, nobody had the right to occupy a particular space. Therefore, there was no force that would specially maintain order. However, one would be greatly mistaken if one believed that they could ignore the rules here. This place contained numerous individuals belonging to different forces. Once someone broke the rules here, they would become the enemy of countless forces. Thus, only an idiot would act so foolishly. Mu Chen and the others slowly walked down a path towards the trading ground. Their view gradually widened, and they saw what the trading ground was like. Within the trading ground, there were many tents set up. Outside of the tents, neatly cut boulders were placed. On the surface of the smooth boulder, a faint spiritual energy was emitted. Various items would appear on the boulders. Demon Destruction Sword Technique, a spiritual tier, low-rank attack spiritual art. You only need to pay a rank 3 symbol spiritual aura to take it away. Don't miss this amazing opportunity. Earth Spirits, spiritual tier, low rank, Gongfa. Spiritual art requires a rank 4 symbol spiritual aura. Who would like to see it? Ghastly Spirit Sword, low rank spiritual artifact. It only requires a rank 5 symbol spiritual aura. As Mu Chen and the others walked around the trading ground, many strange cries came from all directions. This made numerous people chuckle. Perhaps such weird cries and requests would only be heard within the Northern Heavens world. Mu Chen's gaze swept across the surrounding stone tables. Numerous items on the table were considered precious and rare. If it was placed within the Northern spiritual realm, it was enough for people to consider stealing them. If it's the price, it would be at least 100,000 spirit coins. However, it was evident that it was a lot cheaper here. Mu Chen walked together with Ye Qingling and the others for half an hour before separating with them. The little girl, Suner, was busy enjoying the bustling environment and wanted her sister to take her shopping. Thus, Mu Chen started to wander around by himself. Although he had seen many decent items along the way, Mu Chen did not see anything that truly tempted his heart. This made him quite disappointed, but just when he was planning to leave, a shout rang out from nearby, which made him stop. Motherfucker, who the hell are you planning on tricking? You want to use a broken diagram array to exchange for a rank 6 symbol's spiritual aura? Diagram array? Mu Chen's heart trembled. He immediately gazed over and noticed a boy who stood on a stone table as he was cursing at another boy, who was dressed in a gray outfit, in the corner. The boy who was being cursed had his eyes shut as he curled his lips while ignoring the other boy. Seeing that the gray outfit boy disregarded him, the boy lost interest and departed with a cold grunt. At this moment, Mu Chen also arrived in front of the stone table. He stared at the place in front of the boy dressed in gray. There was a black iron box and a dark golden scroll was within it. A faint spiritual energy fluctuation was given off by the scroll. What rank is your diagram array? Mu Chen asked with great interest. Once the boy dressed in gray heard a person asking him a question, he lazily opened his eyes. He glanced at Mu Chen, and his eyes lit up once he noticed the rank 6 symbol on Mu Chen's forehead. His eyes immediately turned eager, and he hurriedly replied, "This is a rank 2 diagram array. However, you should not underestimate it. If you want to arrange this array, it would require at least 40 spiritual seals. The power of this array is something that even a spirit stage middle phase could not endure. 40 spiritual seals? Mu Chen was surprised. It was quite rare to see a rank 2 spiritual array that required this many spiritual seals. After all, only a few outstanding rank 2 spiritual array master could barely reach this requirement. For example, the Golden Revolution Soul Reaver that his father had found only required 30 spiritual seals. But the power from this array could instantly defeat a spirit stage spiritual beast, as well as wound 2 other spiritual beasts. Are you also a spiritual array master? Mu Chen glanced at the boy dressed in gray and asked. Hearing this question, the boy dressed in gray nodded with a hollow laugh. A diagram array is extremely important to spiritual array masters, right? You would actually be willing to sell it, Mu Chen inquired. I am currently only a rank 1 spiritual array master. Who knows how long will it take before I reach the 40 spiritual seals requirement? It's questionable whether I can reach the rank 4 symbol. So why shouldn't I use it to exchange for my symbol's spiritual aura? Once I enter the Northern Heavens Spiritual Academy to cultivate myself, I wouldn't care about not having a diagram array. The boy dressed in gray was quite open to the situation as he replied. Mu Chen smiled. That was true. If he was to be eliminated because his symbol did not reach rank 4, it was evident that this loss was incomparable to a rank 2 diagram array. What's the price? Mu Chen did not hide the fact that he has great interest to the scroll. Rank 6 symbol's spiritual aura. I won't lower the price. This is something that I spent great efforts in order to steal from my father. If you're willing, then buy it. If not, then you should just forget about it. The boy replied firmly. Can I inspect the item? Mu Chen thought for a moment and asked. That's fine. The boy replied without any hesitation. He was also a spiritual array master. Thus, he knew how complex that this diagram array was. If one wanted to master it, it would require a long time spent researching and studying it. An existence that could understand a complex diagram array in a glimpse did not exist at all. Mu Chen's hand cradled the dark golden scroll within the box, and he slowly unrolled the scroll. Roar. Once the scroll opened up, a dark golden light emerged. It felt like a dragon and elephant's roar had entered Mu Chen's ears. On the scroll, numerous complex lights flashed as if a dragon and elephant were entrenched in it. As the golden gradually dimmed, 3 ancient characters emerged. Dragon Elephant Array. Mu Chen softly muttered these words. Then, he was drawn in by this diagram array. A hint of delight soon emerged within his black eyes. This diagram array seemed to be quite powerful, and he was quite satisfied with it. I'll take it. Mu Chen raised his head and smiled at the boy, who had his sights fixed on him. Ha ha ha, brother. You sure are straightforward. The boy dressed in gray was immediately overjoyed once he heard these words. Then, the red symbol on his forehead darkened. The spiritual aura at that location was temporarily suppressed to the appearance of a rank 1. The dark golden symbol on Mu Chen's forehead flashed, and a golden light flew out into the other boy's forehead. The latter's darkened symbol immediately became a dazzling gold. It was the mark of a rank 6 symbol. Cool. Right now, I am also a rank 6 symbol expert. The boy in gray touched his forehead happily. Then he quickly picked up a cloth and tied his forehead in order to hide his symbol. Mu Chen held onto the diagram array and touched his dark and dim symbol. He could not help but shake his head. The accumulated spiritual aura had completely disappeared. If the Northern Heavens Spiritual Academy was to end the competition now, he would be instantly eliminated. Mu Chen placed the diagram array within his mustard seed bracelet and ignored the boy, who was happily closing his shop as he walked away. He did not have any plans on looking at the other shops anymore, as he was completely broke. Just when Mu Chen intended to find Ye Qingling and the others, he felt a commotion appear from within the trading ground. In the distance, the heavily packed crowds had split apart. Mu Chen's eyes narrowed as he stared at that location. He could vaguely hear a few voices. Isn't the boss of the Chu clan? It's said that the Chu clan is one of the most powerful forces within this region. He rarely comes here. I wonder what actually brought him over here this time. As the crowd split apart, a burly figure slowly walked out from it steadily. As he walked, it felt as if the ground was trembling. Thus, nobody dared to underestimate him. Mu Chen glanced at the figure and intended to avoid him. However, the figure headed straight towards him. Under numerous surprised gazes, he appeared in front of Mu Chen. Mu Chen frowned as he stared at the unfamiliar figure that had stopped in front of him. The latter's gaze had made him feel a bit uncomfortable. Moreover, he was quite certain that he had never seen this person before. "Are you finding me for something?" Mu Chen asked calmly. "You're Mu Chen, right?" The burly figure stared at Mu Chen with a faint smile. "I'm Chu Chi. I want to ask you to do me a favor." Mu Chen's black eyes remained fixed on Chu Chi's face. However, he did not answer him. Chu Chi stared at Mu Chen and slowly spoke. "I hope that you will not appear in front of Luo Li." That wraps up the content for today's episode. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe to the channel to get notifications for the next episode. For now, goodbye, and see you next time.